Welcome to the PooCast podcast with your hosts,
What's
Browne
and Pickering.
Hi, and thanks for joining us again on the PooCast podcast. I'm Kaye Browne.
I'm Brian Pickering.
And I'm Jocelyn Watts. Thank you for joining us again.
Alrighty, hands up everyone who loves their veggies. I do. It seems a lot of people aren't real fond of them for whatever reason. I don't know.
Possibly they had lovely mothers who did what mine did initially. She got out of it. She used to boil the you-know-what out of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they were really good fresh vegetables from the garden that Dad grew.
What about you, Jocey?
Oh, Sunday lunchtime, the roast muttons with the roast vegetables. Loved them, particularly the roast potato.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, well, I did like those. We had roast lamb.
Anyway, our accredited dietitian, Caitlyn Henderson, will be with us shortly, explaining why having a variety of vegetables is so important in our overall diets. Meantime, have you ever taken apple cider vinegar? We actually have. Well, occasionally, not every day. You do, though, don't you?
I do, yes. I've been doing it most mornings for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's basically a mix of lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and turmeric, and it just perks me up.
But a lot of people perks you up. Okay, but a lot of people go, oh, vinegar, yuck, So
we'll have to go into the kitchen and you can show us how you do
We'll get into that. Absolutely. Alrighty. Meantime, we often hear the words the driver is thought to have suffered a medical incident. We're referring to a car or a truck crash. So Sharon Bell from Memoirs in Queensland almost died as a result of one driver's medical incident, and she's actually set up a campaign, which is a mission. It's her life's mission. To make people more aware of how diabetes in particular can affect and impact other drivers' lives. Meantime, let's get into the PooCast podcast news with Kaye Browne.
I feel like I should be running onto the set. There is no set. Okay, so over 55 million people live with dementia worldwide, with the World Health Organization expecting that number of sufferers to rise to 139 million by the year 2050. Two recent studies are actually showing promising results in trying to slow age-related dementia, which I love. The first one found that vitamin D exposure was linked to a 40% lower incidence of dementia, with women benefiting more than men, which is good. Sorry, darling. In another study, researchers found that vitamin B could slow the aging of neurons and potentially reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease, specifically supplementing with vitamin B3. But don't rush out to get them from your pharmacist just yet. Check with your health provider.
Absolutely.
Now, Deakin University health experts want ultra-processed foods to carry large warnings on their packages to encourage Aussies to eat healthier whole foods. They say the voluntary health star system is failing to curb our growing obesity problem, and unless a label says this is going to hurt you and shorten your life, people won't change. What do you think? Do you agree with that? Something like the photos on the packets of cigarettes that slowed the consumption of cigarettes? Do you think it would work on food?
Maybe.
Perhaps. Some people, people who the already educated people, perhaps. But
you mean like us?
Yes.
Okay, so
there's something we'd actually like your input.
We'd love your input on that.
Let you get on with it.
Do you like coriander?
Yes.
You, Jocey?
Sometimes. Depends what it's in.
Well, consider yourself to have won the nutritional lottery if you do, because up to 21% of the population can't eat it. In fact, they say it's like eating soap and smells like stink bugs.
Oh.
They can't eat it. Not at all. It's like disgusting to them.
Okay.
The reason is they have a genetic mutation in an olfactory receptor gene. If you want to know, it's the OR6A2 gene.
Oh, the OR6A2. Oh, of course.
Of course. Yep. We all know that one. And no matter how much all of us who love coriander say it's fantastic, there's nothing that they can take or add to coriander to make them eat it. In fact, some of those people say they don't like Brussels sprouts for the same reason.
What?
Okay. Yeah.
What? I love Brussels sprouts. Raw, cooked, whatever. Oh, my goodness.
Actually, a little aside here, since about the 1990s, people growing Brussels sprouts have actually tried to make them sweeter so they don't have that bitter taste. So if you hated Brussels sprouts before 1990, give it another go. They're sweeter now.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's very interesting. Given our next story is about veggies and eating veggies and all the rest of it. Now, do you remember being told as a kid to eat more veggies?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
I'm always surprised at the number of people who say, "Oh, I hate broccoli," "Oh, I hate asparagus," or something like that, and I wonder why. Why?
Why?
Yeah, veggies are great.
Well, there are a couple of veggies we're temporarily not eating at the moment because we're on a low FODMAP diet. We'll tell you more about that soon. But what about you, Jocey? Are there any veggies you prefer not to eat?
Not for any particular reason, only beetroot.
Oh, really?
And that's just
Beetroot?
it's a personal preference. So it's me and beetroot have never really got along all that well. You know, you start eating and it tends to dribble down.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a stain.
So, it's a stain on your clothes.
It's not a digestion
Right.
thing
No,
because
no.
apparently beetroot actually is one of the harder vegetables for our systems to digest.
Okay. No, it's just purely a taste thing for me. I'm not particularly.
But you still drink red wine, right? That's okay to spill a bit of red wine.
Oh, well, some things you've got to take.
All right, with our next chat, you might be surprised at how you can actually have veggies for breakfast. Plus, somehow we managed to almost shock our next guest, accredited practicing dietitian from Healthy Lifestyles Australia, Caitlyn Henderson.
I have been hearing about cauliflower rice forever and a day. There's no food that I really dislike, and for a while there I did dislike cauliflower. I did go to boarding school, so there were a few vegetables I stopped eating after that, after I found caterpillars in the silver beet and,
Oh, no.
the cauliflower had a crust on it. But, I just finally gave in and bought some already riced cauliflower. So this whole thing of replacing rices and pastas with vegetables, is that something you would suggest to people just as, a way of livening up their meals?
Yeah, for sure. It depends what you're after, but if you have noticed that you are eating too many carbohydrates in your diet, then that could certainly be a way to reduce carbohydrate content, which, that can help if you're looking to drop a little bit of weight or if you're looking to regulate blood glucose levels, if you have diabetes. So there's certainly positives to doing that. I do have some clients as well who will mix their cauliflower rice with regular like basmati or brown rice 50-50. So you can still have a bit of a combination, but you're halving the portion of rice. So, yeah, cauliflower rice is fantastic. And it's a great way to increase your vegetable intake for the day, which is probably my passion, is trying to increase vegetables.
So how do you get them in at breakfast time, just out of interest?
That's interesting, yeah.
Well, you could do some eggs and do some grilled tomato and some mushrooms and spinach.
Yum.
I sort of do a Spanish paella style with eggs in a pan and mushrooms and capsicum and all that sort of stuff.
And parmesan?
Yep.
Yeah, great.
And you got to go, ole! To make it Spanish. But that's been a tasty treat, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's always a way to get more vegetables in, always.
Okay.
Well, I was fortunate that the family were really good about putting vegetables on the table, and basically we weren't made to eat them. We were just allowed to eat them, and there was no big deal about it. If we didn't eat them tonight, we eat them tomorrow, because you're not going to get anything new until you eat them. So I learned to love absolutely every vegetable known to man, raw or cooked.
Yes. Well, your mother
Fantastic.
did give you a menu to choose from.
Yes, she did, actually.
Let's just be honest here. I'm sneaking that in.
Oh, very lucky.
Yeah. Well, we're talking a few years back, but
Not mine. My mother did not do that. It was eat it or starve.
yeah, but I can eat raw Brussels sprouts or cooked Brussels sprouts. And people go, Brussels sprouts, oh my god,
Yeah.
and I can eat raw potato or cooked potato. Doesn't matter.
Oh.
Okay.
Looks like we lost the contact. Yeah.
Caitlyn, there are so many questions we'd love to ask you about, particularly with people who are trying to eat more legumes, more plant-based foods. We have lots of lovely vegetarian and vegan friends, so maybe when we talk next time, we could talk to you about some of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
Because some of them, even eating a plant-based diet, are struggling with their weight. So, it's not just a cure-all, is it? A panacea for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's still the same, if not more, things to contend with on a plant-based diet if you're looking for weight loss. So, yeah, there's a lot to think about and probably a little bit more to be aware of with a vegetarian or a vegan diet if you're being mindful of weight. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, can't wait till we can catch up again.
Sounds good.
Come and see us in Harvey Bay.
Oh, yes, that'd be lovely. Just pack up work and head up there.
Well, you can work from home anyway.
Exactly.
I could.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Caitlyn. Caitlyn Henderson from Healthy Lifestyles Australia.
How about that, eh?
Oh, I loved how Caitlyn was almost shocked when you mentioned Brian eats raw Brussels sprouts, raw potatoes.
Raw potatoes, raw anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh.
Brian has a cast iron stomach, I can tell you. Yes. Mine, not so much, maybe not yours, Jocey, but you've come up with a way of helping your digestion, and you've been doing it for years. Let's go and check it out in the kitchen, and you can show me how.
Okay.
You're listening to the PooCast podcast with your hosts, Watts, Browne and Pickering.
Okay, this is an apple cider vinegar and lemon and turmeric drink that I have every morning. And I've already, for the exercise, I've already put the turmeric in. Mm-hmm. That's about a quarter of a teaspoon per glass, per person.
So, Jocey, you've been doing this for a while. What do you do to make it taste better?
Well, I find it okay as it is. I don't need to make it taste better. Sorry.
Well, show us what you do, and then everyone else will know as well. Okay, come on.
Okay.
What have you got in here? Turmeric?
Okay, that's turmeric. And I generally put that in first.
Mm-hmm.
I like to put a bit of honey with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone likes the honey, but for me, I just put a little bit of a teaspoon or so.
Yeah.
Bit of a dab in there. But because honey can be a little, not always dissolve that quickly, I just add a little bit of hot water to it.
Okay.
Just to dissolve the honey.
Oh, the smells great in Jocey's kitchen in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. And for those of us that don't have honey, I actually brought some stevia over because we talked about stevia in the news, and this is a natural plant stevia, and it's 200 times sweeter than sugar, so you need a smidge, so even a tip of a teaspoon.
Tip of a teaspoon?
Please. Tip. Yeah, not a whole one. There we go. Perfect.
Put that in for you?
Yep. It'll dissolve in cold water as well, which is easy. So what happens next?
Okay, so then some apple cider vinegar. And would you like to explain?
Oh, well, I love apple cider vinegar because I use it in my vinaigrettes and dressings and things like that. But I noticed you've got one that's looks a little cloudy, and some people might be frightened about that, but don't be frightened because that means it's got the mother. And we need to have a mother in all of the things that are really good for us. And the mother is what makes grapes turn into vinegar. So it's great. I love it. So a tablespoon of that. What happens next?
Then I put some lemon juice in.
Okay.
And I've already prepared some lemon juice here. Just
how much?
One lemon per glass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's money.
Yeah. So good for us. Yeah. Apparently good for the skin too.
Yeah.
I live in hope.
And that's quite concentrated at that level. So then we add some water to taste, whatever you prefer.
Yeah. And this is your daily ritual every morning. And what this does, I believe, is stimulate the digestive juices in your gut, which is good, which helps basically our system work on all the food that we eat afterwards. And we get the nutrients out of it rather than just go round and round and round and be horrible. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'm going to pop a straw in. Apparently, if you have a straw, it's good. The vinegar goes over your tongue, not hitting your teeth. So let's give it a go.
Yeah. And the reason behind that is that the lemon juice can sometimes erode the enamel off your teeth if you want to.
Or the vinegar.
Or the vinegar too, if you're having it a lot. But
that's really good. So just before breakfast, or can you have it before other meals too?
It's best on an empty stomach first thing when you get up in the morning.
Okay. Good. Wonderful. I like it. I can recommend it. Pity Brian hasn't got it. Thank you. That was delicious.
Yeah, I'll have a taste of that later.
Now, almost every day or every night on the news you hear about a car accident, and the cause was a medical incident. So what is a medical incident? And how common is it? How would any of us know if we could have one too? And I'd hate to think that would happen. Now, one very lucky lady, Sharon Bell, almost didn't live to tell the tale of her accident, in which she was the victim of a head-on crash. Her experience prompted her to start a campaign to encourage people to take personal responsibility for their own health and thereby help ensure everyone's health and safety on the road. Now, Brian managed to catch up with Sharon for a bit of a chat to find out more.
We can hear all the lovely traffic outside, and it's quite appropriate for what we're going to be talking about today. It's about road safety, and we've got Sharon Bell. Sharon, when did this all start?
Hypodrive was conceived when I was in my coma. So when you're in your coma, you do hear what's going on. And I could hear people talking about the gentleman that hit me having diabetes and how he didn't know and wasn't educated and all that sort of stuff. So you can imagine I'm sitting there in a coma. I couldn't do anything, couldn't talk, couldn't release my thoughts and my anger, but it all came out now. So, yeah, I'm not angry, but it's just like, you need to, I'm actually a mother of 3 children, or they're now adults, but at the time, in 2006, I'm a mother of 3 so-called disabled children. They have immunodeficiency disease and was requiring monthly blood transfusions in hospital. And I was on my way to work at 8:30 in the morning and was hit head-on by a diabetic driver. I was his 3rd victim on the road, and I was given a 1% chance of surviving. So 6 weeks in a coma, turned my life support off. I woke up 2 weeks later, and then I spent all up being in a wheelchair for 6 years, and I said 45, but now 57 operations. And it's ongoing, and I just don't want to see anybody else go through what I went through or what my family and friends went through. And, just because you have a medical condition doesn't give you the right to continue to do things, but it also, you have a right to be on the road and to drive as long as you're educated and you know how to stay safe. The gentleman that hit me said that he didn't know what to do. Nobody had ever told him, yet I was his 3rd victim, and he said he was going to try to fix himself up when he got to work, which was another 40k down the road.
I'm gobsmacked. I really am. It's speechless. You're such a strong woman to do that. I would never have known that you were, not able to walk, 1% chance the whole bit. Good on you. Good on you.
Thank you.
Tell us, what is your project all about? What are you doing? Hypodrive's 5 to Drive program. Tell us what that's about.
It's a program about driver awareness while having a medical condition. It started off with just being, driving for diabetes, but has now expanded to all different medical conditions. I want people to be aware of what happens on the road under conditions where they're medically affected, whether it be by a medical condition or whether it be by, medication. And then if something happens, how to get off the road safely.
We've got statistics for drink drivers and speeding. Do we have many statistics for medical conditions?
No. You hear all the time about, an accident's been caused due to a medical condition or someone blacked out, and then all of a sudden it just gets brushed under the carpet and pushed away and nobody finds out anything else.
Because the blacked out can be diabetes related, low blood pressure, etc., etc. Is there any government support with any of what you're trying to do? Have you had any yet? Why not?
No.
Jump up and down.
I don't know. I've been awarded state and national road safety awards over many years, but still nothing's changed. And Anastasia, when she was the Transport Minister, awarded me Community Road Safety Award for the state in 2011, and she thought it was a brilliant idea what we do, and with 100 hours of learner driver training, not 1 hour is dedicated to driving with medical conditions. And the suggestion is that gets changed and at least bring in, 2 to 5 hours of medical training for people with diabetes or any medical condition. They have Keys to Drive, which I don't know who funds that, but that gives heaps of driving lessons out. Yep. What about people with medical conditions? How about supporting that?
Yeah. They're trying to push forward for caravans the idea that you do some kind of ongoing training, a little bit like medical professionals have to do continuing professional development, CPD. We don't have that with driving. You apparently get experience because you have been driving 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
So how can we change that?
Well, you have to have if you've got a medical condition, you have to have a medical certificate from your doctor. And that gets handed into the Transport Department. You get a little M written on your licence, and that's it. As long as you supply that when it's required, that's all you need to do.
Well, mine's got S on it for spectacles, and you can get a 10-year licence. Yeah. Well, when I was a bit younger, I could get a 10-year licence. Now it's 5 years, but there you go. So if we can get that happening for people with medical conditions, that's fine. Or it is happening, rather. But there are a lot of people out there who don't know they've got a medical condition. They don't know they've got diabetes or high blood pressure or low blood pressure. How can we fix that? Yeah,
it's all education. I'm only one person. I can't go out everywhere. I can't do everything. So this is where I want the support and, need the support to get out there.
With learner drivers these days, do they have to have a medical check before they actually get their licence?
No.
Why not?
I don't know why not, but they should do, because any sort of medical condition can affect the way you drive. Anything from asthma to heart problems, and teenagers can have those. Epilepsy, you can't drive. End of story. But there's all these other conditions where people are fully aware that they're having issues and having problems, but they're allowed to drive. But they don't get taught how to get off the road safely while having those conditions and how to treat yourself on the side of the road. This is where we come in and we do this, and we've been doing it for since 2009 with no support from the government.
Well, if you were as shocked as we were by how something as common as a hypo, which is a diabetes low blood sugar incident, nearly cost Sharon's life, and you'd like to help her and her many supporters to educate younger drivers on what to do when they experience a hypo, then head on over to their website, hypodrive.com.au. So...
Wow. She's a very brave woman, very lucky woman to be alive today.
And incredibly brave to drive this campaign to help keep the rest of us safe. And I mean, it's a bit scary to know that other people are out there on the road, perhaps with undiagnosed diabetes or epilepsy or something else. They could just black out and drive smack bang into one of us. So good thing. Well done, Sharon.
Well done, absolutely. Well, it looks like we've come to the end of the show today.
No, already?
Yeah, well, because I want to try that apple cider vinegar you've been kind of sipping away.
We drink it all.
Yeah, it's delicious. You'll love it.
Look, if you'd like to find out more about what we're doing in the show, the various stories that we've done, yes, we've only just started recently, but there's a few stories there that we know that will help you and your inner health, and perhaps someone else who's unsure as to what to eat or how to eat or what they should be doing to lose weight maybe, or they're not feeling good.
To live longer.
Absolutely. Just go across to our website, PooCast.com.au.
See you next time.
I'm Brian Pickering.
I'm Kaye Browne.
And I'm Jocelyn
Are you sure? See ya.
Thanks for joining us today on the PooCast podcast. If you like what we do, please share. And remember, our stories are for general information only. Make sure you always seek advice from your registered health professional. And thanks again for listening.